Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pot Smoker's Bible, Dreams of Zion edition, episode number 4. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority, and the basis of my stories. Today, I'm going to tell you a short story that I have created just off the top of my head about um, a man named Jamal. Now, Jamal is from New York City. He's 25 years old, and he belongs to a gang. He has a history of violence, and he has a history of prison and of jail, but very little experience in the workplace. Because, of course, from his neighborhood, it's really, really hard to find a job. So, Jamal has been in jail for the weekend because he got drunk, which is not too far from usual for him. And upon his release, he goes to his friend's house. And his friend's packing his bags up. And he said, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" He says, "Dude, I'm going to Nebraska." And so his friend sits down and tells him about this crazy lady that's holding um, a strike for pot smokers, for drug users. It's called the Camp Out for Freedom, he's told. And they're camping out to end the war on drugs. And we're all going. So pack your bags, buddy, because you're going too. You got nothing to lose, and you get as high as the rest of us do. This is drug users' chance to finally stand up for ourselves. So we're going to Nebraska. So Jamal goes, "Drug users uprising? Oh, I'm all there. Count me in." So he runs home. He packs his bags. And he meets up with his friends, who pool all their resources together. And out they head to Nebraska, to the Panhandle. And when they get to Nebraska, they get in line with everybody else going to camp. And they have no idea what's in store for them. All they know is that drug users are all getting together to throw a great big old party and tell America, "We don't want your money, we don't need your money, we can do this on our own. We want to be free once and for all. You don't have the right to persecute us anymore." So they get to the gates of Zion. Now, all of these guys that are doing this, there's like 6 of them there in a car, and they're all bachelors. And so the guy at the gate asked them if they have citizenship to sign. No, they don't have citizenship. Whatever that is. Says that's okay. So, do you guys have a career? What do you do for a living? And they're all, pretty much saying the same. Well, we don't have a lot of experience. Well, I worked in a restaurant once, and I worked in a garage. Well, that's okay to say it. He says, "Why don't you take a right and go down to the bachelor's tent, to the bachelor's gate, and go, and they'll help you there." Okay, no problem. So they get to the bachelor's gate, and these guys don't have tents. They haven't got anything but the clothes on their back and a couple of changes of clothes and their drugs. So they get to the bachelor's tent, and there's cots set up. People, have been building bunk beds so that there's, all of these bachelors hanging around. And they actually, see some people they know. Some of them are from other gangs, but they all just kind of stand back and go, "Oh, we're not doing the gang thing here," which is why I'm not picking a gang for Jamal. You pick the gang for him. But in Zion, the gangs are something totally different than they are here in this society. And so, there's this truce because everybody wants to party, nobody wants to cause a fight in Zion. So, he settles in. The next day, he's told at breakfast that he needs to go to the guild tent and sign up for a guild. for his guild placement. He's like, what the hell's that? Well, that's going to determine what job you have in the future. Job? I mean, you're going to give me a job. Well, yeah, how do you think we're going to Minecraft the hell out of everything if we don't have jobs? So, go to the guild tent. So, he finishes his breakfast, and him and all of his buddies, turns out, all go to the tent for the guild placement. And he's asked, well, what is your experience, work experiences? Well, I'm a dishwasher, but I've spent most of my time in prison. So that's okay. We don't judge on it. It's like that's a mark of honor around here, guys. To go to prison is a mark of honor. So that's not gonna be a problem. So let me ask you a question. The guy says, "Is what did you want to do when you were a kid? When you still thought you could do anything? What was your dream job?" And Jamal sits back and he just busts out laughing. He goes, "You ain't gonna believe what I tell you." He says, "Oh, I'll believe about anything." He says, "Okay, I wanted to be an architect." An architect? Wow, that's ambitious, Steve says. Steve is his interviewer. So Steve gets on his little uh, tablet and pushes some buttons. And then he hands the tablet to Jamal. He says, "Okay, Jamal, take this test. Come, go out in the lobby, take this test. Come back when you're done." He says, "And don't worry about how long it takes you to take the test. Take your time. It's not gonna. It's not something to stress over. Just let me know when you're done." Well, it takes him 3 hours to take the test because he really had to think through a lot of these answers because he did not really have any clue what he was doing because it was just a childhood dream. So 3 hours later, feeling like his brain is on fire, he takes his test, answers back to Steve. And Steve says, "Okay, now I'm going to put you on a work detail because there's so much that needs to be done. So you belong to tent C, right? Well, okay. You're going to be on detail C then. It's okay. So we'll get a hold of you as soon as your test results come back and we determine what your results are." It's, okay, man, no problem. So he goes back to his tent and he spends the next 5 days on work detail C. And he does a vast variety of jobs. The first day he's on shit detail. He literally has to dig shitholes for people's encampments. He calls them shitholes. But the engineer that headed the project called them sewer systems. But anyway, after that, he got to oversee the kids making mud bricks, and he thought that was a lot of fun because he got to run around in mud and have mud fights with kids. And then it was like there's that helping out on the cementing crew making cement. So one day he's getting ready to go to his work detail, and Steve taps him on the shoulder and says, "Hey, come with me." So he said, "Okay." So I take it my answers are back. He said, "Oh yeah, you need to pack your tent, pack your bags up, because you're moving. You've been accepted into the architectural guild." And Jamal literally falls down in shock. "I've been what?" he says. "Well, Jamal, turns out you have a natural act for this. And the architectural guild has accepted you to be an apprentice." And Jamal is just like stunned for a couple of minutes. He just sits there. "Are you serious? I'm going to be an architect?" Okay. So he finally gets up on his feet, and goes to his bunk, packs up, and his friends are like, where are you going?" He's like, "I've been accepted into a guild. I'm going to be an architect." "You're going to what?" "I'm going to be an architect." "See, could walk through it. And so Steve takes him to the architectural compound, and he is met by other apprentice architects who are a diverse group of people from all over the world and all races, creeds, and ages. And so he is given a space in the bachelor's tent because space is minimum in Zion. So Jamal settles into a new life. The next morning, after his breakfast, he is taken to his first architectural class, where he is further indoctrinated into his new career. In time, Jamal will not only be able to become a full-fledged licensed architect, but he will be able to take part in the creation of an entire city contained inside a mountain, which is the ultimate dream of Zion, a place of refuge from the ravages of global warming and from any and all possible contingencies for the population of the nation of Zion. So, Jamal goes from an unemployed, uneducated gang member who has spent time in prison for various crimes, many times in jail for said crimes, and who had long ago given up a dream that he had once held dear to his heart. So, just by standing up for his rights as a drug user, he is given the opportunity to follow his childhood dream into a career that he is talented in. And during the course of Jamal's life, he will be trained in his profession, have a lifelong career in that profession. He will eventually be placed in and amongst his friends and family members in uh, the, his where he's from, so that he gets to go back to home, but only this is a new home in Zion. And all of his wasted talents have now been able to blossom and become, and he can become the best that he can be. So that if he is a savant or a genius in architecture like Einstein, but had never been able to even employ such dreams in Zion, he's able to not only revisit that childhood dream, but embark on a career where he is guaranteed all the basic necessities in life just for being a citizen of the nation of Zion, for doing his job in the guild that he is enlisted in. And in that guild, he is able to use his talents, his intellect, his skills, and his ambition to rise in the guild as far as his said talents will take him. Never again will he be impeded by money and by society's decision that he is a certain type of person because he lives here and because he's this color and because he does this activity. Instead, he's given a whole new life without money, where his labor gives him the right to have everything he needs and the ability to follow his basic dream. So it doesn't matter what dream you have in Zion, you can follow it. So may the Great watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. And may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make it your guild choice. Stay happy and high if you use drugs. You have every right and reason to. Know that I love you too much to say goodbye, so I'm going to say later now.